I don't really like reading books. I'm sorry if that makes me somewhat of an idiot, but I don't really like reading books. I haven't read books since elementary school. They just never really been my thing. I'm more of an audio/visual guy rather than, thinking about words that I see on a paper. But if I were to read books, what kind of books do you think I would like to read? A. Religious texts. B. Self-help/self-improvement books. C. Educational books. D. Entertainment novels. A, B, C, D, E. Or E. Smut, femcel, gooner novels. I've came across a group of people on social media, a group of mostly women on social media, that are calling themselves book talk. These are women that go onto Instagram and TikTok to discuss a certain kind of books, Gooner Books. They goon to these books. I understand that smut novelty has probably been a thing for a few centuries, way back to the 1700s, if not ever since niggas knew how to write books. But you have to admit, it's a pretty recent phenomenon for them to go on TikTok and Instagram and out themselves like it's the fucking literature club. Some of these women can't even keep it in the privacy of their own home, reading this such stuff out in public, and they've been caught. This is the equivalent of a guy wearing an Ahegao hoodie. Actually, never mind. This is pretty bad, but that trend back in 2019 where losers were wearing the Ahegao hoodie, that was just horrendous. It wasn't even funny. But reading this kind of shit on a public bus, this gotta be second place. I'm just kind of confused on how women can go on social media talking about such things. This would be the equivalent of a guy going on social media reviewing Mia Khalifa's new album. And we all know she doesn't drop music. Also, hold up, run that back. What was she reading on that bus? Look at me, and I won't drug you to do this. I don't. I keep my eyes locked on the leaves that grow out of the hedge. He forces my face to his, and my heart snaps in my chest when You guys don't even want to see the top part. This is an insane read to be reading on the way to work at 4 o'clock in the morning. Every time I talk about topics like this on my channel, there's always people that say, well, they're adults doing whatever they want to do behind the closed doors in privacy. They're consenting adults behind closed doors, and they're not doing anything illegal. And I 100% agree. Actually, no, I don't, because they're not doing it behind closed doors. They're posting it on every social media possible. They are opening their windows to the internet and screaming out, I enjoy gooning to novels, and this is the kind of sexual fantasies I enjoy. I'm not even gonna play the, hey, there's kids on these social medias that can see your posts and, that's not very healthy for society. I'm not even gonna play that card because that's obvious. I just don't want to hear about your sexual fantasies while I'm trying to brain rot. The worst thing you can hear a woman say on Instagram is, so I've been reading a book.
I was reading a book.
So I just finished reading a book.
I started reading these books.
I need to talk about this book.
I read a spicy book about vampires.
And I liked it.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Can I just tell you about a book I read? Can I just tell you about a book that I just hit?
No.
Some of the stuff these chicks be reading is honestly kind of disturbing, but some of it is actually kind of funny, like this one. Breeding with Bigfoot.
Do you think that's funny, butthead? Do you find it amusing that we'll be talking about the testicles?
I mean, it's all fun and games to laugh at, but did you actually read the caption of what it's about? POV, you're hiding in a tree watching Bigfoot rail your boyfriend and looking forward to your turn.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell.
If you're with a girl and one of her fantasies include her boyfriend being raped by Bigfoot, you need to get out of there, man. But if you think that was bad, wait till you hear what this chick has to say.
So I just finished reading a book about a woman. She goes to a turkey farm because she's protesting. She's like a vegan. Turkey running away from the farmer. So she opens up her arms and like the turkey jumps right into her arms. And when she's on the floor, the turkey starts like hitting on her from behind. A guy's hand comes down and like grabs her stomach and stuff. And when she looks back, the turkey is half man, half turkey. So his body is man.
How does an author even come up with that, bro? Like, their brain needs to be scanned. How do you even read that without, like, laughing either, dude? Like, the mood is getting all set and then gobble gobble. Like, but this is more of the weird monster core stuff that these girls are into. It's kind of like, that guy that's really into anime talking about monster girls? But at least in this guy's case, they're made to look like cute anime girls somewhat, but Who the fuck is this nigga? I'm seeing a very uncanny resemblance between these book talk girls and those weird weeaboo otaku anime nerds. The anime nerds have their waifus. The book talk girls have their book boyfriends. That's literally what they call them. The anime girls have unrealistic body standards. The book boyfriends have the dinglings the size of forearms, apparently. That's why the girl in this clip had a tape measure.
And it was 14 inches. Where is that going? Excuse me, it's as big as my torso. And it was a reverse harem. One guy was 14, the other one was as long as my forearm, so in 10. And the other one was so thick that she couldn't wrap one hand, so she needed to use the other one. It's as big as my leg.
Both of these groups also have massive bookshelves full of their collection of reading materials. And I already drew a similarity earlier with the anime nerds and the book talk girls when it comes to monsters. The anime nerds have their monster girls like the slime girl and the spider girl and all that kind of stuff. And the book talker girls, they have Bigfoot, Turkey Man, and an alien whose Johnson is the size of a 2-foot-long cucumber. But you know, at the end of the day, to each their own. But if you're one of the girls that read these kind of books, you have no right making fun of any guy that has a body pillow, an anime waifu, or even into lollies. Saying that anime weirdos are okay either. I'm just saying that both of you guys are equally as degenerate. Check the description out of this book though. Celeste is a middle school teacher who became a teacher just so she could be around young boys.
Right around in the drop top with a stolen car, searching for my house.
Okay, but seriously though, who could write such a thing? But I will give this point to the book talk girls because the chick who posted this did admit that she was uncomfortable reading this book. Meanwhile, the anime nerds would probably get off to such things. And if you think these books are any different from any other kind of adult material when it comes to ruining relationships, you'd be dead wrong. This chick's going through a divorce because she ended up becoming an author for these kind of books. My husband meeting me when we were 16 and I was a sweet, unproblematic, skinny, church-going, well-mannered, no-cussing girl that reads the Bible. Me growing up to be an overly anxious, no-filtered, chubby liberal who believes in reincarnation, cusses, reads smut books, and writes them. I wrote a book where two best friends worship a plus-sized woman all night. This must be the kind of books Hitler was burning. Not to mention, of course the woman is plus-sized because if she was of a healthy weight, it would break the immersion. I'm also going to take this time to talk about how absolutely horrendous some of these book covers are. Like, why do some of these book covers look like neoliberal corporate art? Like something you would see in a presentation at a work meeting. And not to mention all the titles of the books are almost practically the exact same. The Knight and the Moth, The Maiden and Her Monster, A Vow of Wrath and Ruin. It's like they have the exact same formula. The blank and the blank. The breeding and the Bigfoot. Just like the last batch, the covers are practically the exact same in the respective genre. This one just has the text of the title, with the background being a bed of flowers. They say don't judge a book by its cover, but I'm gonna judge the book, the cover, and the people reading them.
Next. Hey, I need a book recommendation.
Harry Potter. Please just go read Harry Potter instead of outing your barely disguised fetish.
Okay, what kind of book recommendation? I want a romance.
Yeah, a romance. That's what they always try to label them as. They're not smut novels, they're romances. Yeah, just wait till you hear the catch in the next part.
Okay, with multiple partners.
Yep, there it is. There's the barely disguised fetish.
Are you interested in fantasy? Because I've got an MMMF romance where she's a human and they're all gargoyles.
I don't think she was asking for that at all. But then again, knowing these kind of chicks, maybe she is asking for that kind of shit. Like gargoyles? Really, nigga? Gargoyles now? When they ask me what my dad thinks about me reading smut books like he didn't read one and let me interview him for my blog. This would be like asking my mom to watch the entirety of High School DxD and then interview her for my YouTube channel. This chick is talking about these kind of books and then adds hashtag mom humor, mom hobbies, mom life. Imagine being a mother, an innocent mother, just going through Instagram trying to relate to other mothers on the internet and coming across a woman talking about her sexual fantasies. Writing these books changed my life. I hope reading them will do the same for you. Bro, what do you, these are, you are reading Actually, guys, I got a great idea. Let's read some and see if it changes anything. You remember that stuff that girl was reading on the bus? Let's take it from the top. You gonna stop me? He presses his thumb against my Because I wouldn't. His other hand moves to cover my mouth, and he splits my leg wider as he moves my panties to the side. His finger dipping inside my... I squeeze around him, unable to hold in restraint. Oh, my life! My life is getting... It got significantly worse. A lot of these books involved a lot of violent acts like murder, kidnapping, rape, and a decent amount of women are into this and they don't really hide it that well either. But, you know, like I said earlier, everybody's allowed to be into what they're into in the privacy of their own home. It's just more of a mental flashbang hearing people out their dark fantasies all over social media. By the way, this comic was drawn by a woman, and the woman that tried to refute it is a hypocrite. When he straps the guy who hurt you to the back of his motorcycle and drags him across campus to prove a point before he shares you with his twin brother. This doesn't have to just be a fantasy. You can go to any trailer park here in America and you will find this here in reality. Now, obviously, I'm not the only man in the world that has the opinion that these novels are kind of weird for women to be reading. And because some men agree with me on this opinion, a lot of these book talk girls have gone into full manipulation mode. And they're gaslighting people into thinking that these aren't smut novels and they're just romance novels. Like this chick who said, okay, but the fact that romance is the highest selling genre that exists largely because straight women fantasize about being loved and treated kindly by men, and men constantly make fun of this because they think it's just that unrealistic. Treated kindly? By men that you fantasize in these books? You mean like Bigfoot raping somebody's boyfriend?
He bites her lip and then sticks her bloody face into a shark-infested waters while he has his way with her. We listen and we don't judge.
Did I read that right? Let me... being loved and treated kindly by men. Right. Now, obviously, there's a difference between dark romance and romance, but do you really think men are going out of their ways to make fun of, like, a regular romance story and not the weird, crazy ones?
He's obsessed with her, but forces her to play Russian roulette. We listen and we don't judge.
Like, these aren't some innocent Disney romance novels where the prince saves the princess. No, it is like a serial killer kidnaps me, beats me half to death, and then has his way with me.
He's using a knife to make her arrive, and he's holding the blade so his hand gets all bloody, so then he puts it back into her and then smears it all over her face.
Or, you know, you could replace serial killer with Bigfoot. I'm never letting that go. Breeding with Bigfoot is just insane. I mean, what's next? Gooning with Grimace? Let's just be glad that some women can differentiate fiction from reality, while others, unfortunately, cannot. But let's just all agree that, yeah, it's pretty weird to be talking about this on social media.